I'm joined today by David Paul, Managing Director at VectorVest here in the UK. Welcome, David.
Hi, Donald. Well, it's great to be here, sir. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you, David. It's great to have you. Now, we're here today to discuss the markets, current trading, and how to get the best out of the markets using the VectorVest platform. And we even have a cheap trial offer for our users. But first, let's start by asking you how you are finding the markets right now.
Well, that's a really good day to be having this interview, because for the last year, myself and VectorVest users have had a great time in the UK stock market and in the world stock markets, in fact. After the COVID sell-off, we got our first fairly aggressive buying signal at the end of March last year, 2020, and a more conservative buying signal in April last year. And that signal has largely been in place up until a couple of days ago. And a couple of days ago, in fact, the VectorVest UK platform and the VectorVest US platform, in fact, had confirmed a sell signal in both those markets on both sides of the pond. So today, we're advising our investors and traders to be very careful in markets, to be watching their stop losses carefully, and not to be buying any more stocks until the trend on the UK market and the US market, in fact, turns back up. Over the last few months, Donald, markets on both sides of the pond have been rising on very low participation. And on VectorVest, we have a proprietary measure of the breadth of the market called the buy-sell ratio. Mm-hmm. And as the price has been slugging up on both sides of the pond, the buy-sell ratio has been falling. And our founder, Dr. Bartolito, in fact, refers to the buy-sell ratio as the canary, because it's got a tremendous ability to predict a turn. So onto the technical situation changes, we're advising our traders to sit on their hands, watch stop losses very carefully indeed, and don't hesitate to take those stop losses if in fact they are hit.
Great. So what is the VectorVest platform? And in practical terms, how does it help you get the best out of any given market, as you say, as it's hitting a tricky point at the moment?
Well, yes. First of all, the VectorVest platform gives you answers. It's not just data. Now, there's a huge amount of data out there, and you can get really confused by all the numbers coming at you. So the first point of VectorVest is gives unbiased, independent answers. We're not affiliated to any company. We're not affiliated to any stockbroking company. And it's the only stock analysis and portfolio management system in the entire world that ranks and analyzes for both fundamentals and technicals 16,000 shares worldwide. And we issue buy, sell, and hold recommendations for those shares on a daily basis. So answers, and the three answers that we all want to find is: when should we be buying stocks? Is it safe to be in the stock market? Two, what to buy? Which shares suit our own personal objectives? And then, of course, how to lock in some profits and when to sell. So those are the three answers that VectorVest gives based on hard, cold numbers. No sentiment, no scratching your head to try and work out what's going on, based on cold, hard numbers.
So by technicals, do you mean a form of charting?
Well, yes. I like to say, Donald, we put together the best of both worlds. VectorVest puts a value to every share in the stock market every single day. It puts a measure of the share price appreciation potential in relation to a corporate bond. It puts a safety to the earnings stream of every share in the London stock market every day. And it works out the trend. It works out a measure of the short-term trend that we refer to as RT, and a measure of the long-term trend, which we refer to as the comfort index. So what we're trying to do is to put together the best of fundamental analysis, which my definition of fundamental analysis, Donald, is it's a search for the true value of a share. And my definition of technical analysis is that it's the study of trends and turning points. And my analysis and the VectorVest analysis over the last 30 years confirms that the biggest moves occur when the fundamentals and the technicals are in sync. And that's what we're trying to do, the best of both worlds.
That's a good explanation there. So I understand the site uses mathematical algorithms. Now, can you have a cautious approach to trading? Can you factor in a more aggressive approach to trading, or both? Talk me through that.
Well, yes. Our founder, Dr. Bart DeLeo, has put together mathematical algorithms that calculate value, the safety of the earning stream, and, as I said a second ago, the trend on the share, value, safety, and timing. As a default, all of the shares on the London stock market and all the stock markets that we follow are in fact sorted by what Dr. Lido refers to as the master indicator VST. Now, within VectorVest, there is a subset called UniSearch. And in UniSearch, you can search for those shares that suit your objectives, that suit your risk profile. We have a fairly conservative method of trading that I teach to new people. It's called worry-free investing. And it's a fairly conservative approach that prioritizes the safety and the predictability of the earnings. In that approach, we're looking for shares that can grow their earnings reasonably strongly, but very safely. And the probability of surprise is relatively low. And we want to buy those shares when the general market is rising. Now, more aggressive people, shorter term traders, swing traders, spread bettors can use a much more aggressive model. And within UniSearch, we have pre-programmed searches that will find shares that fit that bill. So VectorVest is a huge toolbox full of tools, and you can use it to find shares that suit your own particular objectives and suit your own stomach for risk. As a starting point, in my webcasts for new people, I
was going to say there. So how did you actually get educated? How did you learn about these fabulous systems, David?
Well, first of all, I do a webcast every week to our users, and online with the program, we have a starter course, which is called the Successful Investing Quick Start Course, which is a 5-module program. And also online, there are numerous videos that show you how to actually navigate the program, a navigation series done expertly by one of our top teachers, a gentleman called Glenn Tompkins. So there's an ample amount online, and I provide backup with my weekly webcasts, which are all recorded. You can, if you haven't got time to listen to them, you can play them when you've got a gap. We run a national user group, which is in fact running this evening. And we run an international user group, which is run on a Saturday afternoon. Again, it's recorded and you can play it anytime. There is lots and lots of backup. One very important part of the backup is that if you're stuck and you're at home, you can pick the phone up and you can phone our call center, and that's a free call from the UK. So there's always somebody on the end of the phone to help you.
And how once people have worked all out, do they tend to stay as users?
Well, we've got a very loyal database of users around the country. In the pre-COVID days when we met physically, we have our largest user group was in London. We have a group in Guildford. We have got a group in Oxford. We've got a group in Manchester, Birmingham, Edinburgh, Belfast, and Dublin, and Taunton. So we've got a very committed group of people using VectorVest around the country, and that's because it works. It makes money relatively easy without a great deal of effort on your part by finding the very, very best stocks that suit your objectives and getting into them when the general market is rising, which it isn't today.
Okay. You say it works, so you use the system yourself?
Yes,
explain to me how it's worked for you, David.
Well, I use the conservative plan for about 70% of my funds, Donald. And with 30% of my funds, I use a more aggressive approach. Donald, if I was managing your money, and I've managed quite a bit of money in the past for people, I would put probably the same into the conservative, worry-free approach. And then with the rest, I would look at some more aggressive trading. That's worked exceptionally well. Now, I think that your users or your subscribers out there, over the last year, the conservative approach since March last year is up 57%. So conservative has to be looked upon in that light. In 2019, the conservative approach banked over 50% as well. So our conservative approach works exceptionally well.
I think even our users would be happy with 57% rise on the year.
Yeah, it was a good year, and we came from the March lows, so I don't think that's going to be done every year. Nevertheless, it's had an exceptionally good run. We're still in most of the stocks. Although the general market is selling off, none of the high safety stocks have come anywhere near their stop loss. So at the moment, I'm watching stop losses very carefully indeed. And I certainly won't hesitate in taking a stop loss if the general market is falling. But the worry-free stocks with a high safety, they're very resilient even in a down market. But if we were to get a sell-off like February last year in the COVID sell-off, then everything falls. It doesn't matter what it is, everything falls.
There's no such thing as diversification because everything fell in February.
That's right. Diversification didn't work in February, I'm afraid, at all. And our investors, we got a confirmed down signal, which is the most conservative, strongest signal in VectorVest. We got a confirmed down signal well before the main fall last February. Similarly to this, in the run-up to February 2020, the market was, in fact, the UK market, the American market was moving up, but Dr. Legatt's canary, the buy-sell ratio, was moving down. And once you get a sell signal from the VectorVest composite, one of our confirmed down signals, which is preceded by the canary, invariably that's a time to get worried.
So who owns VectorVest? Where did the idea come from? And how many people use it currently?
VectorVest is the brainchild of Dr. Bart DeLido. And Dr. DeLido has he's got a PhD in chemical engineering. And he put VectorVest together largely many, many years ago for his own investing. And then it was slowly but surely commercialized over the last 30 years. So the algorithms that we talked about a few moments ago that put a value to every share in the market every single day, that put a number to the share price appreciation potential in relation to a corporate bond, that put a number to the safety and the predictability of the earnings, that put a number to the trend, both short-term and long-term. Those have evolved over the last 30 years, and they've been proven in all markets of the world. I then got involved with VectorVest as a customer, and then they asked me to, in fact, help with the marketing of the program. Started in South Africa, where I lived for many years, and I'm now back home here in the UK for the last 5 years, and very, very happy to be working with the product.
And how many users are there worldwide, David?
Many, many thousands, Donald. I'm allowed to tell you. Okay.
And if you want to try the Vector, if you want to be one of those many, many thousands and to try the VectorVest system out, London South East have a cheap introductory offer for our users, which is just 99p for a trial month. Now, where can they get hold of that, David?
Well, if you just go to vectorvest.co.uk/LSE 30, then you can avail yourself of that 30-day trial for 99 pence. At the end of the 30 days, if you want to subscribe to VectorVest World, UK, Canada, US, Australia, and the whole of Europe, then it's £49 a month. It's on a month-by-month basis. And my promise to everyone is that if we can't make you money at VectorVest, then you can stop it at any time. And clearly after the 30 days, if you find it's not for you, then just stop it. We shall remain friends. And I think what's really important, Donald, as well, is that I think we are, I speak under correction, but I think we're the only firm in the United Kingdom that sells investment software, that sells investment advice that's authorized by the regulator, the FCA. And we take that very seriously indeed. So if you want to try it for 30 days, vectorvest.co.uk/LSE30.
And you also have a webinar next Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. UK time, is that right?
That's correct, yes. And then I'll go into the detail of how VectorVest gives you answers, hard, cold answers, not data. And I'll, in fact, illustrate our worry-free approach, which, as I say, has made over 50% in the last year, plus paid a dividend. Then I'll also look at some of the more aggressive systems as well.
David Paul, Managing Director of VectorVest UK, thank you very much indeed for joining us on London Southeast today. Thank you.